YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is McPato. This is McPato PC, and today I'm bringing you my review of the BenQ EX3501R. I'm going to try to make this a very quick review for anyone interested in the monitor. I'm going to try to give you my opinion and some facts. However, I'm going to shy away from a lot of the technical specifications for the most part. So we're going to dive right in. I've written up a little script for you guys, so it's going to sound maybe a little bit robotic. I apologize, but I just want to get all the information in there and be concise and quick. Alright, so we're going to get right into it right now. This monitor from BenQ, the EX3501R, does have a sibling, which is basically identical, except that the exterior of it is more gamer themed. That monitor is the Asus ROG Strix XG35VQ. They both use the exact same panel, which is an AU Optronics M350QVR01.1. That is, of course, a VA panel. The link is down in the description, which breaks down everything in terms of its diagonal viewing, the width, the height, the radius of the curvature, which is 1800R. They got the panel bit depth, everything's in there, guys, so definitely check that out if that's something you're interested in. But getting into real world measurements, I measured it edge to edge, so the extreme outside edge to the other extreme outside edge. Side wise, on your desk you will need 33 inches. That includes a 3/8 of an inch black bar on the sides and the top, which is not the panel. So it's sort of a bezel inside the bezel. It doesn't really distract me, and it didn't really take away from the overall experience, but that's worth mentioning for anyone looking at the monitor. It doesn't actually go edge to edge. There's a bit of a perimeter on the top and the sides. In terms of the the height of the monitor, the panel itself, 15 1/8 of an inch, including a 1-inch non-screen frame at the bottom. That's the bezel down below, which has the BenQ on it, as well as the sensor for brightness. There is no side-to-side turning feature on the stand, so only up and down height adjustment. And from the desk to the base of the monitor, you can actually adjust it from 2 3/4 of an inch to 5.5 inches. In terms of tilt, you can tilt up 5 degrees and tilt down 20 degrees. The stand itself is 8 inches deep and 19 inches wide at the widest point. So in terms of the footprint on your desk, this is a great monitor. It doesn't take up a lot of room. The stand doesn't. If you look at something like the Asus with the 3 legs, I would imagine that takes up more space on the desk. This one's a little cleaner, a little more compact, but very firm, and it's got a really solid feel to it. Diagonally, edge to edge, the screen has a 35-inch diagonal measurement. As I've mentioned, it's very similar to the Asus XG35VQ, and I'll mention that a little bit later on as well. Getting into the construction of the monitor, overall, everything about the BenQ EX3501R has quality written all over it. The stand is clean and refined, takes up very little room on your desk. The monitor features an elegant design and avoids any overtly gamer design cues, unlike the Asus equivalent, which shares the exact same panel but goes in a completely different direction with its style. The overall fit and finish of the BenQ monitor inspires confidence that it has been built to last and will provide the user with many years of glorious ultra-wide gaming and productivity. In terms of features, the BenQ EX3501R comes equipped with a modern assortment of I/O options, including 2 HDMI 2.0 ports, 1 DisplayPort 1.4, and 2 USB 3.0 downstream, and 1 USB Type-C 3.1 upstream. The monitor also features eye care brightness in the form of a sensor underneath the monitor, which dynamically adjusts the brightness of the screen to your specific lighting. Also, it features advanced motion accelerator, AMD FreeSync, brightness intelligence plus, flicker-free technology, HDCP or high bandwidth digital content protection, low blue light, picture by picture, as well as picture in picture. The monitor features a great assortment of display modes in its menu, including HDR. However, it is not a true HDR10 according to other reviewers. I will shy away from the specifics of this particular item. I will be linking a more in-depth review by TFT Central, which you guys can definitely check out if you're interested in the specifics of the color reproduction as well as the HDR and so on. The monitor comes fully assembled out of the box, or in the box as it turns out in this case. Features an 1800R curve, 100 Hz refresh rate, 3440 by 1440, 21 by 9 ultra-wide specification. In terms of what you get in the box, obviously you get the monitor, the stand, as well as one DisplayPort to mini DisplayPort cable, one HDMI cable, and one USB-C cable. It is worth mentioning that for anyone wanting to wall mount this monitor or to mount it using an aftermarket stand, while the monitor does support VESA mounting, it requires a special bracket. The bracket is available directly from BenQ at the link down in the description below. However, at the time of recording this video, the bracket is showing out of stock again. I had emailed BenQ in February asking about the bracket, and they told me that it was not discontinued and that they would be getting a large shipment in March, that they had underestimated the demand for the product. I did check throughout March and it was in stock at different times. However, it is currently again out of stock. So definitely if that's something you want, I would keep checking that link. And there's also a link for UK and I believe other countries as well, which seem to be in stock more often. So that's something to consider as well. In terms of performance, this monitor has lived up to my personal expectations. I'm coming to the BenQ EX3501R from an Asus 1440p 144Hz IPS gaming monitor, which featured FreeSync as well. And I can tell you that I have not missed that monitor for 1 second since buying this one. I'll try to keep my personal feelings about the absolutely ridiculous value offered by this monitor until the end of the review. However, I can objectively tell you that the monitor performed as expected. I should add that I'm using the monitor with an AMD Radeon Vega 64, and as such, FreeSync has been flawless for me. I have read that some NVIDIA users wishing to use this monitor may experience some flickering when using 100 Hz as their default refresh rate. However, I have also read several accounts where this has happened and it was successfully resolved by simply manually setting the refresh rate to 99 or 98 Hz. According to those affected, this did fix the issue. Also, make sure to use quality HDMI 2.0 or DisplayPort cables 1.4 to ensure full compatibility and the best results. I am using DisplayPort, so I'll include a link in the description below for the specific DisplayPort cable that I am using and which has been working flawlessly for me. My personal experience has consisted of gaming. I've played a variety of games such as The Witcher 3, Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, Ghost Recon Wildlands, Apex Legends, Anthem, as well as The Division 2 and Resident Evil 2, just to name a few. And it has performed perfectly in all of those games. I have found that for myself, using the in-game HDR setting or using the MBook preset from the monitor's menu have been great options for gaming. Setting Windows to enable HDR, however, was less than enjoyable, as the colors and contrast were unpleasant to say the least. However, setting games to HDR via their in-game menu in most cases does provide a very nice experience, if at times a little on the dark side, or in a few cases very bright and washed out appearance, such as was the case in Anthem. In such cases, I use the MBook option in the display's menu. And other games, of course, don't have HDR built in. That's the same preset I use, MBook. That's a great preset. While gaming, I did not notice any sign of ghosting or input lag, nor any screen tearing. It should be said that most games auto-select 60 Hz as the refresh rate when you first play them, so do make sure to manually change that to 100 Hz in your game's menu for best results. I have also used the monitor for web browsing, as well as productivity work, and have found it to be a considerable upgrade over my previous monitor. Being able to have 2 pages open side by side on the screen is great, and while it feels like something shiny and new, it is quickly becoming something that I don't think I can live without. In terms of video editing, all I can say is that it has helped me step up my video editing game for sure. I am now able to have everything I want open on one screen. Editing and video assembly have never been this quick and easy. In terms of color accuracy, I'll have to sit this one out as I'm actually colorblind. In terms of color accuracy, I'm gonna refer you guys again to the review by TFT Central. It's down in the link below. Areas this monitor could improve. In my opinion, VESA support should have been made possible without needing to buy a separate bracket, something which Asus did for their version of this monitor. More adjustment for the stand would also have been nice, so being able to turn it side to side would have been a great feature, in addition to a little bit more height adjustment. For me, it's perfect at the height that it is, but I could see how, depending on your chair, your environment, it might not be quite high enough for every situation. The stand is quality though, and if it works, it's a great stand, and I don't see any need to change it with you know, a wall mount or whatever. But regardless, those are 2 things they could have done a little better. The included USB-C cable is a little short at around 3 feet. Panel is a 8-bit, not a 10-bit, so HDR10 is not really correct. I'm not sure why they used HDR10 on the box as part of their advertising. Definitely it has some HDR support, but this is an area that's been heavily criticized by other reviewers, so I'm just going to throw it in there. And then the menu navigation is a little bit clumsy, a little awkward because it's underneath the monitor. So instead of having a little joystick on the back like Asus or I think Acer use, they sort of went another way and they put it on the bottom, which again is not a huge deal. Once you've got it set up, you're not really going to use those buttons. But I'm going to add that to the list of areas to improve. Now moving on to my closing thoughts and my verdict. I will start by saying that I purchased this monitor with my own money and that I was in no way sponsored or compensated by BenQ for my review of the monitor. With that said, overall I've loved using this monitor. Making the switch to an ultrawide has been every bit the ascension I hoped it would be. Literally everything looks and feels better on the BenQ EX3501R versus my previous monitor, which had an IPS panel. A lot of people say IPS is superior to VA. I gotta tell you, I love the VA panel. I haven't had issues with gaming. I haven't had issues with video. No issues at all. In fact, to me, it looks better than IPS. My opinion only, but that's how I feel. I feel that BenQ has a huge hit on their hands with this monitor, and that this is not something that has happened accidentally. Everything from the inclusion of modern I/O options, FreeSync support, 100Hz refresh rate, sort of HDR, the elegant and minimalistic styling, all contribute to the final outcome, one which I would describe as the total package. Truth be told, I don't think you could find a better example of an affordable 3440 by 1440p ultrawide which provides this complete a package in terms of the features and quality present in this monitor. While some people may want a more gamer-focused aesthetic, in which case the Asus XG35VQ would be a great option, this monitor left me feeling complete and as though nothing was lacking in my display. It checks off all the right boxes for me personally, and I, for one, could not be happier with the final outcome. While I mentioned several issues present with this monitor, none of them are deal breakers for me, and none of them distract from its pros in my opinion. For this reason, I give the BenQ EX3501R a rating of 5 out of 5 ducks and have no problem recommending it as my ultra-wide of choice. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. Hope you liked the review. If you did, hit the like button. Lets me know I'm going down the right track. And if you have any questions about the monitor or are using the monitor and want to add some feedback, please leave a comment down below for other people to read. And consider subscribing to McPato PC, as the sign behind me says there. Subscribe, guys. I'm getting really close to 500 subscribers, as well as 200,000 views for my channel. 2 huge milestones, and for that I give you guys a big thank you. Definitely appreciate the support from you guys. The YouTube community as a whole has been great. Thank you. Until next time, I'm McPato saying bye-bye.